This Sunday, the clock falls back, which means it will get darker earlier and we'll gain an hour of sleep. But what impact does daylight saving time have on your body? Sleep medicine specialist Veronica, I didn't ask how to say your last name. Sessi, Veronica Sessi is with us here in studio to explain and offer some good sleep tips. My name always gets mispronounced, so I don't want to take a chance there.
No problem.
Thanks for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
First and foremost, let's talk about what is the reason for the time change. Why do we do this?
Why do we do it? So the dreaded time change, right? Twice a year. So daylight saving was enacted in 1918, basically during World War II. It was World War I, I'm sorry. It was a conservation measure, so we had more light and we can conserve energy and resources. It started in Europe and we passed a law in 1918 in the States. It's been repealed a few times, and then in 1966 we passed another law basically implementing it and implementing set dates that it occurs. So basically every the second Sunday in March every year is when we spring forward, and that's daylight savings. And then the first Sunday at 2 a.m. in November is when we adapt standard time and where we fall back, basically. So
there is a bill pushing to make daylight saving time permanent. Do you think this would be a good thing, a bad thing?
Right. So the Sunshine Protection Act basically was passed by the Senate in 2022, has not passed the House. And so it's basically to make it a permanent thing. And keep in mind, there's 2 states that do not enact it. So Arizona, parts of Arizona don't have daylight savings time, and Hawaii does not. So in terms of a good or bad thing, it depends on who you ask. So sleep physicians, sleep scientists, we're more in favor of standard time because it's in line with your circadian rhythm. So basically, light exposure at the time that when you have standard time is more in line with things and does not throw your body off as much as daylight savings does, where you have that 1 hour jump in terms of time.
Yeah, let's expand on that. How does it impact your sleep?
So many ways. So, in terms of our sleep, we always reinforce adequate sleep hygiene habits, and the bulk of that is really making sure that you're going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, and that's all very dependent on light exposure. So how it impacts us is it's throwing your whole internal rhythm off. So your circadian is either delayed or advanced associated with it, and that can have a tremendous impact on people who already have insomnia. It can have an impact on depression. It can have an impact on mood. Obesity is tied in with these changes. Attention, focus, concentration, so a lot of areas of our health that it can impact. One thing we frequently see with spring forward when daylight saving time starts is we see a spike in heart attacks that Monday following. We see an increase in motor vehicle accidents. We see an increase in work-related injuries. We see a lot of people have to take time off that day. And we see that there's a 40% reduction in the amount of sleep people typically get that following Monday and even weeks following. So it can become a chronic issue for people too.
So many things I think people don't think about as we either spring forward or fall back. Veronica, thanks so much for being on with us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.